Coming up on Citrus TV News, the campus climate survey results are here. Find out what they say about the school.
Drivers are clogging up the lane outside of Byrd Library. We sit down with campus authorities to find out about the safety implications.
And voters got the chance to see the candidates on the same stage for the last time last night. We have full analysis of the final presidential debate.
Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to Citrus TV News live at 6. I'm Amico.
And I'm Jackie Prager. A Syracuse student is dead after a car crash over the weekend.
And that's our top story tonight.
Syracuse University is mourning the death of a student. Senior Vincent Maudry, known as Vinny, passed away today as a result of injuries he sustained in a car accident last week. Maudry is a member of Phi Kappa Psi fraternity and a biology major in the College of Arts and Sciences.
Police originally reported his name incorrectly. His age incorrectly. He was 22. Last Monday, the fraternity held a memorial service for another brother, Hunter Watson, who died in a car accident in June. Students grieving this loss can contact the Counseling Center 24/7 for additional support. SU students can now give input on the campus climate survey results. The university released the survey today as part of its efforts to enhance student life on campus. Results show that a majority of people at SU are happy with faculty and staff work, academics, and the amount of respect that they receive on campus.
The study found areas that need improvement are eliminating discriminatory environments, increasing efforts to help minority groups feel comfortable on campus, and allowing staff to have more of a life outside of work. All members of the SU community are invited to offer input on the results through MySlice or open meetings next week. Syracuse University Chancellor Kent Syverud was appointed to the Homeland Security Academic Advisory Council yesterday. Chancellor Syverud was sworn in during a council meeting in Washington yesterday. He is one of 8 new appointees to the council. Chancellor Syverud will support the HSAAC through its subcommittees on cybersecurity and student recruitment. And the School of Visual and Performing Arts is hosting 3 separate lectures today. Peter Schwartz will speak at Whitman about representing individual artists in New York City at 6:30. The feature-length film Cemetery of Splendor starts at the same time at the Everson Museum of Arts as part of the visiting lecture series. Johannes Muller, a European guitarist and composer, will be at Krause College tonight at 8 o'clock. He will speak about winning the GFA Concert Artist Competition.
2 alumni of SU's Women and Gender Studies program returned to campus today to share their professional experiences. Brittany Brathwaite and Aaron Carhart will speak on campus tonight. Brathwaite is the co-founder of a social startup that educates communities about sexual health, and Carhart is the youth organizing manager for Planned Parenthood. The lecture begins at 7 p.m. in Sims Hall. Every day, cars fill the Byrd Library parking lot as students study, but as Nick Papantonis explains, some of those cars are causing safety concerns.
We can all get a bit creative when parking our vehicles in Syracuse, and aside from getting a ticket, that's okay. But in some cases, it can present a danger. At the university's Byrd Library, for example, parking spaces are available, but when those fill up, people often put their cars right in the designated fire lane. I wanted to know why.
I just wanted to ask you why you parked in the fire lane.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm working.
Just want to know why you were parking in the fire lane.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know it was fire lane.
Some people would argue it's not entirely the driver's fault, and here's what I mean by that. Over here, the paint is fresh, the lines are crisp and clear. Over here, the paint is faded, old, and really hard to see. It doesn't excuse the fact that there are several signs indicating a no stopping zone, but even drivers who knew that didn't know why.
If I hadn't told you it was a fire lane, would you have known it was a fire lane?
Nah, I would have no idea.
You couldn't see the lettering at all?
No, it just says no stopping, but it doesn't say if it's a fire lane or not.
And yet he was stopped on top of the fire lane warning. I wanted to know why the city neglected to paint over that side of the parking lot, so I called it.
Hi there, my name is Nick Papantonis and I'm with CitrusTV News over at Syracuse University.
And got sent to voicemail. However, Syracuse Fire Department Deputy Chief Timothy Hess says it's not as big of an emergency as it could be.
Thankfully, the library there is sprinklered and there are standpipe systems. So, yeah, it may be difficult. It may take a little time to get into there, but we would, you work around your obstacles,
Hess says cars parked in the fire lane get ticketed or towed, and according to New York state law, that goes for vehicles that are still occupied, or anyone who thinks their hazard lights are an excuse. In Syracuse, Nick Papantonis, CitrusTV News.
And Hess also said they have encountered the situation before. In the 1980s, a fraternity house went up in flames, and cars prevented firefighters from getting to the building quickly.
An upstate New York woman says she is guilty of running over a teen and killing him on Christmas Eve. Sarah Buswell pleaded guilty today to first-degree manslaughter for the death of 18-year-old Amar Williams. Buswell did not explain her relationship with Williams and is expected to receive a 17-year prison sentence when she appears in court in December. And school is back in session today at Solvay Middle School. Yesterday, a gas leak forced students and teachers to evacuate. A contractor disrupted a gas line that required school officials to cut off the heat and hot water to the building. Students were bused to the high school during the evacuation. All necessary repairs have now been made. And after the break, it's rainy and cold in Syracuse right now. We'll see more war weather coming soon, coming up in your full Citrus TV forecast.
And there's only about 3 weeks left until Election Day, and voters got a chance to see the candidates in action one final time last night. Stay tuned for a full analysis of the debate on Citrus TV News in just a moment.
We were seeing near record temperatures earlier this week. We hit 83 on Tuesday. Unfortunately, rain moved into the area Wednesday night and brought us back down to our normal, which is about 58 degrees. Will the rain stick around for the weekend, and will the warm weather return? I'll let you know in your exclusive Citrus TV 5-day forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
To eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Presidential candidates are back on the campaign trail today after the third and final debate last night. In the debate, Donald Trump had a controversial response to a question about accepting election results.
Today, he told supporters he will reserve his right to question or file a legal case against the results.
Of course, I would accept a clear election result, but I would also reserve my right to contest or file a legal challenge in the case of a questionable result. Right? And always I will follow and abide by all of the rules and traditions of all of the many candidates who have come before me. Always.
Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Kaine praised his running mate's performance last night, saying that Clinton is, quote, 3 for 3 on the debates.
Poise and a temperament and a judgment that is exactly what we want to have in the President of the United States. She showed it.
Talking Points election correspondent Dan Prager joins us now in studio for a recap of the debate. Thanks so much for coming in.
Dan, so let's start with this. Going into this debate, on average, Donald Trump was down nationally by 7. Some polls had him down by as much as 12. He needed a big turnaround. Who won the debate?
Well, besides Fox News, who absolutely won that debate by having Chris Wallace be a great moderator, the real winner was Hillary Clinton. Both of them had their strongest debate, though. Clinton appeared strong and presidential, and at least for the first 30 minutes, we saw a side of Trump that we had never seen before. He was quiet, he was reserved, and he hit all his points pretty well. But in the end, Clinton came out on top because she was able to rattle him a couple times, and a CNN and a YouGov poll both said that voters saw her as the more presidential candidate.
So looking back on the whole debate in its entirety, what do you think are the most memorable moments?
Definitely when Trump said he wouldn't concede the election if he lost, that there might be voter fraud or the election might be rigged. That's going to be something that you're going to see many times over the next couple of weeks, and especially come election day, if he doesn't win, that's something we all need to pay attention to. And a lot of even his own party are rebuking him and saying, you can't say this, that's not true.
And so like we said, you know, this was a big moment for Trump. He needed a big turnaround. Sounds like he didn't really get it. There's a couple weeks left to Election Day. What does this mean for the race going forward?
It doesn't really mean much. I think Hillary looked more presidential, and nothing really changed in the minds of most voters. I think at this point they've seen all they needed to see. I think one of the things you might want to look at, another one of those moments, was when Trump called Clinton a nasty woman, and a lot of women are really taking offense to that. So that might swing some more suburban women, a demographic that really has gone Clinton's way more. You might see more of a swing, and that puts states like Arizona and Utah in play. So it's not really about will Clinton win anymore, because barring some miracle, she's going to win this election. It's how badly will Trump lose.
Yeah, it's been a bad couple weeks for him with women voters, from the tapes of the sexual assault allegations to not really doing anything to help himself last night. It's been a rough couple weeks for Trump. Thank you, Dan.
See you later, Alex.
We'll tune into Talking Points at 7:30 tonight for more Citrus TV debate coverage.
And make sure to join us on November 8th for our Citrus TV election special.
Another man is facing charges in the death of Trinity Gay, the daughter of Olympian Tyson Gay, was struck by a stray bullet and later died at the hospital. She was 15 years old. Lamentia Williams was the fourth arrest in connection with the exchange of gunfire earlier Sunday morning, in a restaurant parking lot. The investigation is ongoing.
Cold, and it was rainy.
Will the rain continue through the weekend? Citrus TV weather anchor Brendan Tierney is in studio to let us know. Brendan?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, definitely a very cold and wet day outside today. We saw rain throughout most of the day. 58 was our high. 53 was our low. We have a flash flood watch in effect until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, so we're definitely not in the clear quite yet. Taking a look around the area, we're seeing 63 down in Ithaca, 54 up in Rome, and Cortland's checking in at 60, so pretty seasonable temperatures around the area. Luckily, the rain is out of here for the moment. Pretty dry. We're in a bit of a dry spell. Unfortunately, we won't stay that way into the overnight hours. We are definitely part of a much larger system that's coming into the area. Moisture is getting funneled to us through the cold fronts and low pressure systems. That's going to keep it pretty wet for the next couple of days. Your Futurecast radar shows pretty heavy rain moving into the area into the overnight hours, which will not be the best overall if you plan on heading out tonight. 52 degrees will be your low tonight, so not that bad overall outside, but it will be wet and there may be flooding at times across campus. Tomorrow night for Orange Madness, kicking off the basketball season, 49 degrees, breezy with rain at times. It's going to be feeling like 30 degrees with the wind chill, so definitely bundle up if you're heading over to the Dome. And then your exclusive Citrus TV 5-day forecast shows 55 degrees with a 70% chance of rain tomorrow. We're checking in at 46 on Saturday. We warm back a bit on Sunday, 54 degrees. Monday, the rain finally moves out of here, 50 degrees. Do cool down a little bit to 47 on Tuesday. Guys.
Coming up, the president of the Philippines has some strong words for the U.S., what he said and how it will affect the country's relationship.
And taxi companies across the country got some bad news today. We'll tell you the new stats on how the industry is changing. Citrus TV News will be right back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
An American soldier has died from wounds caused by a bombing in Iraq. The soldier fought in an Iraqi operation against the Islamic State in northern Mosul. The bombing was caused by an improvised explosion device.
Iraqi-led forces have recaptured 100 square kilometers of territory around Mosul. The group is currently in its 4th day of offensive against ISIS. The goal is to retake the area known as cultural capital of so-called Islamic State. Today marked the most intensive day of fighting between the two groups.
And today, the 21 Chibok schoolgirls held captive by Boko Haram militants meet the man who secured their release. Here you're watching the girls celebrating after being reunited with their families.
The newly freed girls and their parents met the Nigerian president today, whose negotiations with the militant group gave the girls their freedom. The terror group still has more than 100 of their classmates.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte is calling for a military and economic separation from the United States.
He did not provide details on the process of separation. Duterte met with the president of China today. The White House said that in a statement that there have been no official requests to change the alliance with the Philippines. The Philippines is recovering after the second major storm this week hit the country overnight. Super Typhoon Jaime smashed into the northern Philippines with ferocious winds and rain.
Several villages are cut off from aid due to fallen trees, landslides, and floods. Officials say at least 7 people were killed in the storm. This typhoon comes after another storm last weekend killed 2 people. Typhoon Jaime is weakening and headed towards China. Know the genetics behind the mental disorder schizophrenia. Researchers at the University of California use a technology called chromosome conformation capture to map the formation of DNA.
The team found that the fetal development period is critical for the onset of schizophrenia. These results could someday lead to the new treatments for the disorder.
Apple is filing a federal lawsuit against Mobilestar for selling counterfeit products through Amazon.com. Apple claims that 90% of these products, which are labeled as genuine, are actually fake.
The fake products have been reported to cause electrical shock and in some cases fire. The lawsuit asks the court to stop Mobilestar from infringing on Apple's copyright and trademarks.
More business travelers are choosing to use ride-hailing services like Uber and Lyft over the traditional taxi or rental car. This is the first time that the percentage of people using Uber and Lyft has surpassed the combined percentages of people using traditional transportation.
The report comes from an expense report software company called Certify. The company analyzed more than 10 million receipts over the 3-month period. Uber has more than 40 million active riders worldwide.
And Hyundai is recalling nearly 63,000 mid-size cars. The South Korean automaker says the vehicle's panoramic glass sunroof could come loose and fly into traffic.
The recall includes 2015 and 2016 Sonata sedans and hybrids. Owners will be notified when to bring their cars in to replace the sunroof. No crashes or injuries have been reported as a result of the defect.
Coming up on Citrus TV, the basketball season hasn't started yet, but a Syracuse player is already drawing national recognition. Plus, the SU women's soccer team takes on an ACC foe and updates on not 1, not 2, but 3 professional sports leagues. All that and more in just a few minutes. Don't touch that remote.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh, yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Syracuse sports fans might get sick of seeing Wake Forest on the schedule pretty soon. A couple weeks after SU football lost to the Demon Deacons, the Orange women's soccer team is in Winston-Salem tonight for a date with Wake. Both squads picked up their first ACC wins of the season over the weekend. Syracuse topped Pittsburgh 1-0, while Wake Forest snapped a 6-game losing streak with a 2-0 victory over Boston College. The Orange and Demon Deacons kick off in about half an hour. Next week, the SU men's soccer team takes its turn against Wake Forest in the regular season finale. While the soccer season heads down the home stretch, basketball is just around the corner, and Tyler Lydon is already earning national recognition. Today, the Syracuse sophomore was one of the 20 players named to the preseason watch list for the Karl Malone Award, given annually to the top power forward in the country. Last year, Lydon came off the bench and averaged more than 10 points and 6 rebounds per game. He was a defensive force during SU's Final Four run. He blocked 4 shots per game in the NCAA tournament. Lydon and company open the season tomorrow night at Orange Madness. Back to sports that are actually playing games right now. Syracuse football stunned number 17 Virginia Tech 31-17 last week. 5 days later, it's still hard to understand how the Orange pulled it off. But SU wide receiver Steve Ishmael did his best to explain the performance.
I feel like just the confidence, man, in everything. As I said, man, I can't express it enough, man. The belief and the positivity that he talked to, man, was really great. You know, I feel like it hyped up the team and it gave us the energy to go out there and perform at the best of our ability. We knew that we were a good team. You know, looking at all the games that we played before, USF, we were up. And we were up in so much games, and, you know, we sort of like let it go. But I feel like we finally took the initiative as a team to stick together and to say, you know what, we're going to take that next step and get this one. We're going to do whatever we got to do. If it's talking, you know, screaming out to the defense, let's go, hyping them up. We just really did anything in our might to pull out this one because we knew that this was a huge game and we were not going to let it go.
Syracuse looks to carry the positive momentum into this Saturday's game against another ACC foe. SU travels to Boston College to take on the Eagles. After that game, don't miss Orange Press Pass at 5:30. Before that, the Sabres head north of the border tonight to meet the undefeated Canucks. Buffalo has picked up 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw so far this year. Meanwhile, Vancouver has allowed just 5 goals combined in 3 wins this season. If you want to see if the Sabres can hand the Canucks their first loss of the campaign, you'll have to stay up late because that game doesn't get going until 10 o'clock. From the ice to the gridiron, the oldest rivalry in football gets a new chapter tonight. The Bears and the Packers meet for the 193rd time at Lambeau Field. Green Bay is favored by 9 points, even though the Pack's top 3 cornerbacks are out with injury. Chicago, on the other hand, is missing its starting quarterback, Jay Cutler. But backup Brian Hoyer has thrown for 300 yards in 4 consecutive games. He's the first passer in franchise history to accomplish that feat. Green Bay QB Aaron Rodgers, meanwhile, owns the highest career passer rating in NFL history, but ranks just 20th in that category this season. And finally, one half of the World Series is set. The Indians punched their ticket to the Fall Classic for the first time since 1997 after they blanked the Blue Jays 3-0 yesterday. Cleveland takes on the winner of the NLCS, which is knotted up at 2 games apiece. The Cubs routed the Dodgers 10-2 last night. Chicago's bats woke up after not producing a single run over the previous 2 games. The 2 teams do battle again tonight in a crucial Game 5. 2-time World Series winner John Lester takes the mound for the Cubs and goes toe-to-toe with LA starter Kenta Maeda.
And we'll be back in just 90 seconds.
Don't go away.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, Brendan, welcome back. So what kind of weather are we looking at for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, unfortunately, is going to be a bit of a carbon copy of today. Let's take a look at your CitrusTV day planner. You see 54 degrees tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's going to stay pretty stagnant at noon. We'll be cooling down into the evening. 70% chance of rain throughout the day. Winds will be coming out of the northwest at about 15 miles an hour.
So before we get completely overtaken by the cold embrace of winter, are we going to see any sort of warm weather again?
I don't really know. We're looking at winter arriving early November. 1st or 2nd week is when the cold weather will be arriving. Snow by the 3rd week of November probably is what the National Weather Service is predicting. So we don't really know quite yet.
Brendan, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
That's all the news for now. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Be sure to come back at Citrus TV News on all social media and check us out at citrustv.com for more news. I'm Jackie Prager.
And I'm Amico. Have a great night, Syracuse.